Okay, hi everyone, this is SmithyQ from SmithyQ.com, and we're here with another video analysis. And this one is going to be somewhat special, I guess. You could say the student has become the teacher. I've featured most of the videos I show are my victories because it makes me feel good. They're my, and they're my games, and I understand them very, very well. I know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm able to communicate that. At the same time, you don't want to get your head too big, the huge ego, and it's important, of course, to look at your losses. Now, I've had a friend of the blog, Ralral. We've played several games, and I featured several of his losses. And so it's only fair that when he beats me, or he plays a really good game, that I highlight it here as well. Both to keep myself honest and, praise where praise is due. We're going to look at two games. We played, what, like 4 Blitz games the other day? And he got a really good position in one of them, and I escaped with a draw. And the other one, he managed to finish me off. So let's take a look. In this game, Ral is white, I am black, and we ended up playing the Queen's Gambit. And I've been doing the Queen's Gambit Accepted because it's the only thing I can pretend to play until I learn the King's Indian. We got this e5 in with the idea if he ever takes, we're just going to exchange queens. And then we got an incredibly even endgame, which is not really fun to play. I've never seen anyone actually take that pawn. Almost everyone either plays d5 or like Ral does e3, take, knight f6. Then I usually play bishop d6 here. And things are pretty standard. Knight f3, castle. He wastes time with h3. I check him. He, of course, plays bishop e3. And then here, I spent an incredibly long period of time. I was trying to get this to work, where I would take, he takes, and then I get bishop g3 check in. Because his king has to go somewhere, probably to f1. And what do you think? I really wanted to do this. Again, I'm black. We're just looking at it from white's perspective. However, he's got 3 pieces developed. I've got 2. So I've got no real attack, and he actually controls the center. So as much fun as this might be, and you know what, if this were a bullet game with only 1 minute, no increment, yeah, maybe I play it. And then what happened here is actually a really common mistake, is that I was trying really, really hard to get this to work. It didn't work. Then I spent almost no time at all just doing the very next things. And so I played c6, trying to control d5. He castles, and now look what happens. I play b5, he moves, a6, he moves, h6. And so I have spent 4 tempi, okay? 4 moves with my pawns, not developing in the opening. Whereas, look, he's fully developed. And I could get in trouble, and that's exactly what happens. After knight, take, look at this. All of a sudden, there's this incredible pressure here on this pawn, and I don't really pay attention to this very well. Or I see it, and I think I'm going to be okay, but I have absolutely no development. And his natural moves, look at this. Okay, this is inaccurate. He could have brought in one of the rooks to the c file or the d file to oppose my king right away. Anyway, his position is so good, he can afford this loss of time. Look at this. He brings the rook over, queen c7. Look, rook c1. And all this pressure is here. And I can't develop my knight. I lose the pawn. I can't push. I'm going to lose the pawn. What do you do? Because this is a blitz game, rather than trying to suffer, I simply sacrificed the exchange and played c5. With the idea that maybe I got some attack going into here. But this is complete bluff. This is absolutely nothing. And I'm rather fortunate that Ralral just lets this 3-move repetition go in, and I escape with the draw. I think Ralral showed me a little too much respect. He knows me. We're friends. Right? I mean, you look at this position. Had he done something like this, okay, it's instead of moving back, let's say he goes here. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to play c4 and then see what happens. But bishop takes h6. We bring the rook in here. We're going to bring the knight in here. We can bring the other rook up and around, or, you know, up and around, or wherever, and we're just absolutely toast here in this position. And even if you look at the material count, all right, we each have a rook, we each have a knight, his rook for 2 pieces, we each have a queen. Like, material is equal, and he's attacking with everything. I'm just completely done. So that would have been an incredible victory for him, but he let me off with the draw. He's very, very nice. And we can see the exact reason why is up till here. All right, development's pretty equal, and then I spend 4 tempi. 1, 2, 3, 4, making random pawn moves. Okay, is h6 okay? Sure. I mean, all these moves might be okay. This type of structure is very common in the Queen's Gambit accepted, but you still got to calculate. You can't just play these moves willy-nilly. And that's exactly what I did, and I justifiably suffered because I wasn't developing. I'm just making pawn moves, right? And this is something that I've preached a lot when I've been doing my beginner videos and helping people with some of my private lessons. It's develop, 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 and here I fall victim to it just as much as everyone else. But then there's one more game in which he manages to not let me off, to actually win. So I was white in this game. We'll look at it from my perspective. We'll see how I lose this game. Here, we have a standard Sicilian position. And I decided to take on c6 and then push e5. Why not? Looks like fun. Like, the whole point, you know, is he plays knight c6. Let's see if I can draw the arrow. You know, to protect that square. Well, let's do it. Let's punish him. Then I played knight e4, and things are doing pretty well so far. I like my position. I control some weak squares. He's got some very unhappy dark squares. Queen c7, f4, looks pretty standard. Bishop e7. Now here I apparently missed. The computer really likes c4 here. And then it has this rather funny variation of playing king e2. And you're thinking, what, this is the computer's best recommendation? Well, the problem is that the knight's attacked. Where's the knight going to go? And if the knight goes, you know, to b6, well, we're just going to play c5. Knight comes back, a3, and the bishop's trapped. The bishop can't go anywhere, and that's it. Okay, that's not bad, not bad. All right, and the same thing, if the knight were to retreat here, same thing with a3, where every square is defended, and this is the exact same trap. So you might be thinking, okay, what if he doesn't play bishop b4 check? What if he just moves the knight? Well, then after take, computer is protecting the pawn. Sorry, the queen protects the pawn. After something like this, b3, look at this. Bishop goes to b2. There's going to be a huge attack on the enemy king. And the computer says that white already has a near decisive advantage. It's +2 already. Frig. And it's kind of funny because, again, even here, there's, after queen f6, queen e3, queen c3 check, king f2. So this computer is recommending all these lines where my king is just going to be running around. Which is hilarious, but he's attacking with just the queen. He's got nothing. Meanwhile, I'm going to play f5. Whoops, not that. I can play f5 at any point to blow it up. Again, we've got queen g4, bishop d3, move the bishop here, and black is just, he's got no development. And even if he did develop, what's he going to do? Put his bishop behind his pawn? Put the bishop so it's staring at this pawn and not doing anything? Where's he going to move this knight? Nowhere. Black has an incredibly ugly position. Of course, I didn't play that. I just played bishop d3. Then after f5, take, castle, castle. We've got a position. Not bad. White's a little bit more active, and so I jump in with knight g5. I'm hoping that he's going to play h6, which is going to really weaken these light squares around here, and then I can do something about that. Notice that I have the light squared bishop just staring right at him. He checked me, pushed me over, All right, exactly like I predicted. Move the knight all the way back. Knight to g4. Here I did a quick calculation because it's clear that he wants to jump in like this. And then there's a fork, and then things are unhappy, and they're, whoops, not that. That's the worst move in the game. Get rid. No. There we go. So I played queen e2. He goes queen b6. He's covering it every more. I jump it with knight to e5. I'm letting him come in. I can't really stop it. But the idea was, and I calculated this, I was pretty happy for my blitz game. Take, queen e4. Uh-oh. Look at those light squares. Everything is going to be destroyed. That's game. He played rook f5, which is the only move. I didn't know what to do right away. At first, I thought, okay, this is absolutely nothing. But then I realized, it's not so easy. Because after g5, bishop b7. And the problem is, my king is stuck over here. Look at that. There's a pin, and the bishops are right, and my king, I could be in huge trouble here. And then here, something, well, it looks like I kind of go insane a little bit. Anyway, so I take the pawn with the idea is that he can't play c5 because I'm going to take his queen. That'd be pretty, okay, sure, he takes mine. I take him, attacking the rook, attacking the other rook, attacking the rook. Actually, everything's attacking rooks. And he's just, that's not very good for him. Now, in my head, I assumed that he would play queen c7, and then from here the best move is queen takes e6. He played queen a5, and I played queen takes e6. But what's the difference between queen a5 and queen c7? If the queen's on c7, it's still protecting this bishop, which means this is still a threat, which means I need to move with tempo, which is why queen takes e6 is good, because it comes with check. And then I have a move to stop c5. Maybe I can play knight to c5, or I can play h4, or I can move my king out of the way. I'm going to do something. When he plays queen a5, there's nothing protecting the bishop, which means I can safely just take the rook. And right, that doesn't work. Come on, there we go. And that should have been game. But this is one of those pseudo chess blindnesses. This is something I've been suffering a lot. You know, even though I've been practicing my tactics and I'm going through. I put a lot of freaking time into my tactics, and stuff like this just keeps happening to me, which is kind of frustrating. Anyway, so I take with check, he moves back, and my attack is still very, very strong, but I gotta find the one move, which I don't find. First, let me tell you my thought process, because I spend, what, like almost a minute to play this funky-looking move. So let's back up. So here's what I want to do. I want to play knight e5. Where I'm attacking the pin piece, and everything's going to be in trouble. I can come in like this as well, and he's just dead. The thing though, is that after this, and we got these checks going on, my king doesn't look very safe. So how can I stop that? And so I played bishop d2. With the idea that now my rook controls the back rank, so he can't check me. And I'm attacking the pin piece. I'm going to win. Yay! I'm so happy. But I forgot about his other threat, the threat that I was worried about for such a long time. c5. Where, look at this. The bishops are just absolute monsters. There's nothing I can do. So I just throw my two pieces in. And that's game. So a very pretty final position, a rather crazy tactical game there. It's pretty nice with lots of errors on both sides. Okay. Apparently, King G2 is the best move. My king escapes. Again, there's no this, and if he plays C5. Well, actually, I can just take the bishop. This bishop isn't defended. Also, yeah, that's basically it. But I want to share this because, again, it's important to both analyze your losses, and it's easy to look at this and say I just blundered, which is true. I did throw away a very nice position multiple times, actually, but you need to look into why this happened. And this is like a strange sort of chess blindness where his bishop's protected, and I assume it's always protected. And I was looking at variations, it's blitz, I'm still looking, right? Where the bishop's always protected. And so then when it wasn't protected, I still thought it was protected. And so I don't take the rook. And even if we were to back up, when I played this move, g4, I did not consider the safety of my king at all. Even though my king is stuck in the center, and I was forced to sacrifice my rook because of his knight, queen, bishop all coming at me, right? And so I was not paying attention to the threats of my opponent at all. Again, I can dig deep into these types of mistakes, and I can learn from them. So we never want to just say, you made a blunder. Yeah, you did, but got to figure out why, so that way it'll stop happening. At least that's a theory. That hasn't stopped me from blundering my Blitz games for the last week. But that's a story for another time. I'll have a blog article coming up soon talking about this, so look for that. Otherwise, that's that. Congratulations, Ralral. You played really well tonight, and keep it up. Got to even our series. I think I'm still ahead by a couple of games, but you're coming on strong. Anyway, so that's it. SmithyQ, SmithyQ.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.